We started with you, had maybe, this is embarrassing to admit, but maybe 60 to 100 customers. That's it. Probably 100 customers at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We now have over 2,000. So, I mean,
Whoa. Hey there, Rebrands here, CEO and founder of Branding for the People. We're a brand transformation agency that helps brands optimize their impact by authentically connecting with their target audiences. And in today's interview, I'm going to share with the case study Justin Berg of Purple Care, who has achieved extraordinary results since the rebrand. So Justin, welcome.
Hi, hey, Reed.
How's it going?
Very good.
Good. So actually, so before we go into some line of questions I want to ask you, why don't you just tell the people about Purple Care, what you guys do and who you guys are?
Sure. Purple Care, we do everything from mowing to, believe it or not, to outdoor kitchens. We do everything from, we're a lawn care company, we're a landscape company, we do tree work, and we also do pest control. So we kind of joke with our clients and anyone that's willing to listen to our story that if it's outside, we probably do it. We do a little bit of overhead doors, we do garage door repairs, we do fence work. But our main, like I said, our mainstay is we are looking to provide sustainable solutions for people, for not just pest control, for lawn care. And we're looking to make sure that people get back outdoors where they belong, really.
I love that. I love that. Get people outdoors. Okay, cool. So you've had a successful business when we first met. So I always like to start with a question. What was the problem that you wanted to solve when you came to me, when you came to Branding for the People?
Sure. We'd outgrown our company name. We'd outgrown our name. It wasn't functional for us anymore. Our old name was Xtreme Lawn Care, and it served us fine. It was a good name. I mean, people liked it. I mean, I think people liked that extreme, and I don't know. There was believe it or not, we had a following behind it, which was kind of interesting. But it would also had outgrown us because people would, look at that and say lawn care, and they just assume that they knew what they like. Well, obviously these guys are in lawn care. They cut grass, and so we would miss out on a lot of bids and a lot of opportunities when it came to pest control, when it came to tree services, when it came to landscape. I mean, I would walk into a client's property for an analysis, and they'd have another landscape crew there, and I'd ask them just very politely, I'm like, can I ask why we didn't get an opportunity to bid that? And they're like, Justin, I didn't even know that you did landscaping. And so I realized that even though lawn care was what we did, and it is what we still do, and we love lawn care, but we do so much more than that. So the name was very limiting to what we did. And it also, the other piece of it was, I needed to make it a little more sexy. I really did. I mean, our Xtreme Lawn Care was it was good. It was all right. It was decent, but it wasn't us anymore. We'd outgrown it. That's the main thing.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So sort of outgrowing your brand. And what I also heard too is that the name itself limited what people, how they associated you. They just sort of pigeonholed you in one aspect of the services that you offer.
Sure. Correct. I tell people this story, probably within 30 days of us changing our name. It's kind of a great story. I went to one of our big clients, and he said, why the name change? He was a businessman himself, real astute guy, good guy. And he goes, why the name change? He goes, Xtreme Lawn Care to Purple Care. And I said, well, Bob, we do a lot more than lawn care. And I said, what we really want to do is tell our story. That's the main thing I want to do is I just want the opportunity to tell our story. And I said, I don't get a chance to. And I said, for example, we do this, I listed off all of our services, and he literally stopped me in the middle of that and go, you do fence work? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, you do wrought iron fences? And I go, yes, we do. And he goes, well, I need a wrought iron fence around my outdoor patio because it's raised about 4 feet off the ground. And I'm literally worried about people falling off of that patio at parties. He goes, will you put in a wrought iron fence? And I'm like, and I literally walked away that day with a $7,000 contract to do wrought iron fence. And on the way out, I'm walking up his driveway on the way out, and he literally yelled down his driveway. He goes, hey, Justin. He goes, I guess that Purple Care kind of thing kind of worked, didn't it? And I just started laughing. I'm like, it did today, Bob. And so, I went home and of course ran home like a schoolboy and told the entire staff, like, hey, this is working, So that's why we did it. And that's what, that's just kind of a quick story of
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It sort of just immediately made more opportunities available had you not rebranded. I love that. So take me back. You have a lot of choices to choose from, or maybe you weren't aware of all the choices to choose from, but why did you choose to hire me, Branding for the People, our team?
Sure. One thing that I have I've been told and been tested where I've got high emotional intelligence, but one thing I don't do well at is actually understanding that emotions. If that makes any sense at all, which maybe is counter, maybe those two statements don't work together, but I felt you guys were very in tune to the emotional side of things. And I know what works. I know why people buy. I'm good at marketing. I'm good at running a business. We're been successful at that. But having that feeling that for lack of better cliche is that fuzzy feeling that what makes people react, like what is it about when you walk into a room and it says it's cozy, it's warm, it's nice, hey, it's cold in here, and it has nothing to do with temperature. It's just like, what is it when you walk into a place or even meet a person, you're like, I like him, I don't like him, I felt comfortable around him, I felt like I trusted him. Yeah. And what was it? And you guys were really in tune to the emotional side of that, subconscious part of it, why are people making buying decisions? And as good as I am at what I do, I wasn't good at that. And I knew that. And I felt you guys were very much into that. You guys asked a lot of questions. The other thing is I did look at some of your other clients, and I liked the look of it. I thought it was pretty, cutting edge, new, edgy, way. And that's what I want. I'm like, lawn care, it's been done before, right? Lawn care's been around for a few days. I mean, it's nothing new, and it's lawn care. It's maybe some people think it's just, we kind of joke in our office. It's just grass. It's just grass. It's just grass. All right. And so how do we make it not just grass? And how do we make it a little more edgy, a little more fun? And how do we really tap into where I wanted people to be curious, like, what is, these guys are unique, they're different. And when you take a business that's been done for a long time and is kind of, a lot of, everyone almost does, we all kind of mow the lawns very similarly. I mean, we can, how do you really say, hey, we do it different than other guys when it comes to mowing grass? It's just grass. So the way we wanted to do it was through our image and through marketing. We knew that we couldn't say, hey, we mow it slightly different than the next guy, or we treat it differently. We have a little bit of that. There are certain techniques that we use that are different than the industry, which is great. But how do we make sure we show that imagery? And I thought you guys did a good job of that. I felt you guys were, like I said, you guys were really in touch with the emotional side. I know that when I watched a speech of yours one time, you said that it was the subconscious side of the decision-making process. And that hit me hard. And I never really thought of it like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not in tune with that.
Now, in your case, I want to ask this specifically for you because not every business goes through a rebrand where they have to change their name. Mm-hmm. What was that process like for you, changing your name? And people, and also you were known for like the purple color in your industry. There were some things that you were really attached to or that you were really committed to. Tell me about that process, about us recommending lots of new changes for you and the team.
Yeah, it was, by the way, there's like 7 questions in there, which are all good, but I'm like, I gotta, I could go off on this. This is a great question, and I could go off on this one for a while because it was, so let me take you from the client's perspective.
Yeah.
We actually had a good following. Like I don't want to say it was cult-like, but we had a good following where people liked Xtreme Lawn Care, and we were known as that purple company. Like 99.9% of the lawn care and pest control companies are going to be a form of green or brown or an earth tone color because they're trying to represent the earth, which is cool. But we were purple. And then to this, knock on wood, I've yet to see another purple lawn care company out there. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Somebody's out there, but we were purple, and we would literally get that call all the time. Like, hey, are you that purple company? And it wasn't like, hey, are you the lawn care company? Are you this? But they got asked that. And so when we changed our name, there's actually, people, even when it's good change, people fight it. And so people were like, we had complaints, and I was, but it was awesome. Like, you're like, wait a minute, you're telling me the rebranding got you complaints. I don't know if I like this. We loved it because, again, it gave us an opportunity to tell our story because we wanted people going, I liked your old name better. I'm like, oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Tell me that. And they go, why'd you change it anyway? And there we go. And I was off to the races. I'm like, well, let me explain to you why we did it. Didn't really embody who we were. I mean, did you know that we do pest control? Do you know we do this, do this? And I go, and a lot of people are looking for pest control, and you do a search on Google, and you said, I need, I've got roaches, and Texas here, that's a problem. And you pull up Xtreme Lawn Care, you're like, why'd they pull up? And that was limiting to us. But if it says Purple Care, you're like, Purple Care, I wonder what that's all about, And you, Purple Care, pest, I don't know, I'll just click it. It's out of curiosity alone, you might click on it, and it allows us to tell our story. And so that's part of the question you asked right there, is that we love that. That was actually one of the only requests I made. Was I said, whatever you guys do, would you please just keep the color purple? I didn't say it had to be in our name at the time. I didn't know you were going to keep it the name or make it part of the name. I said, can you please just keep the color purple? Because that was one thing that our recognition and our own branding before you got to us was strong enough that that was there. And I knew we had to keep that. And that was actually my only request.
Yeah. And I think it was a fair request. I think for a good branding process looks at, particularly in an established business, looks at what are the characteristics or attributes of the current brand that we want to leverage. Mm-hmm. Branding is not just about completely changing everything for the sake of it. It's also kind of looking at what are some of the things to leverage. And so that sort of interaction between you and our team are like, hey, this request of keeping them purple, that's intel, that's information that we need to have to include as we're sort of cooking and baking this new brand.
Yeah. I had no idea you were going to put it in the name. And that was, part of the other question you asked was, how was it? I found it interesting that I had to go out there and resell all my employees. The first people I had to sell was my employees. It wasn't the public. It wasn't my clients. I had to resell because people are like, hey, I've worked here for years for Xtreme Lawn Care. That's who I started. I've been here for a long time. I'm loyal. They were loyal to our old brand. And so I had to convert them and sell them. And that's when I realized, all right, this is great practice for clients and customers and stuff like that. But I've got to sell them and get them on board with this. And of course, like clients that were actually personal friends of mine, they're like, Purple Care, what's that? And I'm like, it was a great, I even had one lady that runs a successful business, and she's like, I don't get this. And when I explained it out to her, she's like, that's flipping genius. And this is a woman that flat out said, I want to let you know, I respect you. We're close. And she owns another business. She goes, I think this is, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I think this is stupid. And I explained it. She goes, that's freaking genius. And so in a matter of 5-10 minutes, I converted her. And so we had a lot of that, and people started buying into it. And so was it painful? Yeah, but it was like anything that's good. Just like growing pains. Like working out, you got to rip the muscle to make it stronger, right? And it's painful to go through, but you're really happy with the results. And so I would encourage people to look at that as, don't worry so much about the process. Look at the results. And when people are asking questions, I don't care what that question is, like, why would you do that? Or what's up with Purple Care? I don't care what they are giving you the opportunity to tell your story. And if you just go, well, we just changed your name, you're a fool, and you need to take the opportunity to go through that and resell your own customers and resell even your guys on the team. My guys had to be resold on why we were no longer going to be Xtreme Lawn Care and why it was good and why they needed to buy into it, and how that was going to help them on their paycheck and make them more money and allow them to have better jobs inside our company. Because we used to have, only a few channels of growth for our guys. Now we have multi-channels where we have a guy that could be running a mow crew one year, and now he's on pest control because our pest control has grown so much. He's making more money as a pest control technician than he was as a lawn care. Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Yeah. So there's always going to be someone that's going to charge more than you. There's always going to be someone that charges less. But at the end of the day, it's that feeling. It's about making sure that you're working with someone who gets you and that you enjoy working with. God forbid being, working with someone that's miserable to work with. So anyway, Justin, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thanks so much for your time. And I look forward to hearing more of the successes that you're getting as a result of your new brand.
My pleasure. Thanks for everything you've done for us.